Good evening, everybody, and welcome to A Joyful Noise, a celebration. This is a celebration of the theatrical genius of Michael Bennett. We're also calling it We Are Family because Michael was so young when he started, and he did such a big body of work that we all know him here as contemporaries. Some of us lived with him, some of us fought with him, some of us worked with him time and time again. It's hard to put us into categories because most of the time he used the same people over and over again. And his career, he just made our careers blossom. So we are considering us the family of Michael Bennett. And we also would like to, if anyone out there worked for Michael Bennett, we'd like you to raise your hand so we can just see, okay, we got a lot here. Oh, good. Thank you. Now, the panel that you will see this evening is the creme de la creme of show business. Each person is an actor, a dancer, a choreographer, a director, a writer. We're all linked together. So as I introduce each person, I will not give them the credit so we can get this thing going because it's going to be long anyhow. So you'll understand who they are when we get to it. If there's anyone that wants to know about dancers over 40, most of the panel up here are dancers over 40, and we'd like for you to understand about it, and at intermission maybe inquire about it if you'd like to join us. So let me start by saying that this is the real Michael Bennett family. Michael Bennett Difiglia was born April 8th, 1943 in Buffalo, New York. His mother was Russian, German, Jewish, and a secretary at Sears. His father was Sicilian and a machinist at Chevrolet. His father was also a bookmaker, a gambler, and known to have mafia connections. This is true. In fact, it was generally known that he was always in debt, and Michael continually paid off his father's bills. Now, this is what Michael Bennett says about his birth in 1983. I would like to say that I am a direct descendant of Terpsichore, and I didn't have a mother and father, and I wasn't born in Buffalo, and all the boring things that are true about where I come from. I wish I was born in a trunk in the basement of a Broadway theater, and I crawled into the pit and looked up, and there was Julie Stein conducting the overture to Gypsy, and I heard Ethel Merman sing, and the first moment of life was experiencing a Jerome Robbins musical. I can't think of anything more perfect. So there's two Michael Bennetts. His mother and his aunt encouraged him to dance, and at 3 he started at the Betty Rogers School. At 9 he was one of Mrs. John Dunn's Little Stars of Tomorrow. He danced on Saturday afternoon television and was getting quite a reputation in Buffalo as Mikey Difiglia, and he always said, I wanted to make shows for other people, not for myself. Now, Jack Greenan, who is here today, said that Michael, they danced as kids in Buffalo, and that Michael would not let anyone else choreograph for him, not his teachers and not anyone. He had to do it himself. And these Saturday afternoon shows, he would stage elaborate numbers for the TV shows with he and Jack and many of the girls. Jack, just wait. Thank you for that information. He attended school preparing for a career in architectural design for something to fall back on, but there was not the slightest doubt in his mind that he wanted to be the next Jerry Robbins, his idol then and throughout his career. Jack said that he was a dancing teacher's nightmare, since he would drain their minds and then move on to the next teacher. He also had a big ego. Sammy Davis came there to perform, and he knocked on Sammy Davis's door, and he said, I'm Michael Bennett, and I'm really terrific. So he would also make trips to New York and study, and he met someone special there, and here she is. This is a surprise. The first panelist, Miss Baayork Lee. Have a seat. In case you don't know, Baayork is a descendant. I mean, I can't believe how much she worked for Michael and how much she gave to him and how wonderfully they worked together. So this is the famous Baayork Lee. Tell us how you met and when, yeah.
Well, Michael Bennett would come down every summer to Sevilla Ford's dancing school on 44th Street, and his friend Very, that was her name, her mother would bring them down every summer. And that's where I met Michael, and I think he was 12 or 13 then.
Oh my God.
And we became friends, and I just remember Michael telling me years later, he said, I remember you came in and you said, I just got Flower Drum Song, my second Broadway show. And Michael said, I was so jealous because I hadn't done one yet. So but then, you know, years passed, and then Michael and I met again when we did Here's Love together for Michael Kidd. And that's when the light bulb went up when he said, I'm going to be a choreographer and I'm going to start teaching dance. So he and Jaime Rogers started teaching class, and I became a student. And
how old was he then, about?
Age. You know Connie Wong and age. What can I say? Young.
Now, speaking of Here's Love, do you remember that he had a dance with Gene Kelton where they were rag dolls?
Rag dolls and firemen.
Yeah, and he helped Michael Kidd choreograph that. Do you remember that at all?
Well,
I mean, he was already out there.
He was already out there, and the dance was very athletic, and it was quite wonderful. And that was the beginning of my being aware that Michael was special, that Michael was different.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
All right, well, Michael got a stock production of West Side Story, produced by Jack Lenny, who later turned out to be his agent for all his life. So after that, he went back to school, but he got cast in an international company of West Side Story as Baby John. And his mother didn't want him to leave school, but he insisted, and that's where he met Mr. Bob Avian. Now, this man does not toot his own horn, so I have to, without Bob Avian, there would be no Michael Bennett as we know him. He has been everything to Michael Bennett. He is just a god. He's a god. So.